This is Stacy Marshall with Printwear Magazine.
Matt Vassallo with the RhinestoneWorld.com.
Richard Greaves with ScreenMaking.com.
Brian Walker with RTP Apparel.
You are listening to the Two Regular Guys
Podcast.
Hosted by
Terry Combs.
Terry Combs.
Terry Combs.
And
Aaron Montgomery.
Aaron Montgomery.
Aaron Montgomery.
Keep on listening.
I don't know if these guys are that regular.
Good old Richard Greaves.
Good old Richard at the end. Well, welcome to the show, everyone. It's Friday, August 3rd, 2018. I'm Terry Combs with Equipment Zone. You can also find me at terrycombs.com.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery, and you can find me at aaronmontgomery.info. And today we're going to be talking to Jennifer Cox with NNEP, the National Network of Embroidery Professionals. We had Jennifer on. It's been 5 years, Terry. I found
there's no
out.
way.
Yeah,
Oh
5 years. So we've totally been remiss. We need to make this at least an annual thing. But anyways, we'll get to that when we get her on. Actually, Isabel Pinterich, suggested that we get Jennifer on a while ago, and we just have been slacking. So
my guess is my response was, we had her on a few months ago.
No, that was 5 years ago. So anyhow, we're going to make amends for our faux pas today. But a couple quick, I have a news item that came across my desk that kind of was interesting. I thought was noteworthy. Group Stalls North America has appointed a new CEO, and her name is Carleen Gray as the new CEO there. She comes to the role with more than 20 years of experience in various positions at Stalls. She's been a stalwart with the Stalls company. That didn't really sound right, but she's been around there for a long time in lots of different roles, marketing and other things like that. You and I had a chance to meet her when they were showing us some stuff prior to our podcast with Ted. So we'll see how she does. She's a very intelligent lady, and I think she's going to do really well. Ted speaks very highly of her, so we'll see how Group Stalls does here going forward.
Absolutely. It's interesting, Aaron. Just 2 days ago, somebody asked me, hey, do you know anything about that Stalls heat press that heats from the bottom and the top? And I said, as a matter of fact, I do. Ted Stahl personally showed that to Aaron and I, and he was very, very proud of it. So, Aaron, I don't really have a news item. Just more than anything, I just want to comment. First of all, if you lose me, I'm as often as I am in a hotel room at NBM show in Long Beach, and so if everybody logs on to check out Facebook, I'm going to be gone. But I did want to have I had a real quick comment about NBM. Something kind of unusual happening here. This is a regular show every year. It's always in the summer. Somehow there's another show going on at exactly the same time. We're all using the same escalators to go down. Security is stopping the NBM folks for the other shows, saying, hey, you can't go in yet, and vice versa. But the really unusual thing is I do, as you well know, an all-day seminar the day before the show opens. And so for that day, Wednesday, and yesterday, Thursday, the first day of the show, all the seminar rooms were being used by the other show. So, and Aaron, you probably don't even know this, there's another whole set of seminar rooms on the back side of the convention center, downstairs in the basement. And so people are just wandering aimlessly, trying to find where these seminar rooms are. And, you and I were talking before the show, and I didn't tell you this part. We couldn't even set up our screen because we have these huge screens from Epson that are backlit, and the ceiling was lower than the height of these of our normal projector screens.
Oh boy!
So we had to use the screens that the hall provides, and they were floor to ceiling, which meant we had to put our projector on the floor so people could see. Anyway, it all came off without a hitch, but it was really, really unusual, and I feel bad for the folks at NBM because last night, after the last seminar, they had to take every room, tear it down, bring the speakers, bring the projectors, bring the screens, move them all the way across to back to the normal side of the hall, upstairs, and set up the room again. So,
Yeah.
hey, if anybody's going to a seminar today at NBM, they're in the normal place again. So
there you go. Nice. Well, we're going to be talking to a young lady that has lots of experience with trade shows. So before, when we were catching up with her before the show started, she mentioned that you could probably write a book or a pretty good comedy about it. So we may have to ask her about that. But anyhow.
exactly.
All right, Terry. Well, we're going to also have our very beloved 5 things today. And last minute, Jennifer has agreed to hang around with us. We just asked her last minute. So
Right.
we'd like to do that to our guests. We did it to Dawn last week, too.
Exactly. Nothing like sitting right before we go on the air. Hey, by the way,
it keeps it lively, you know?
we're going to do like a 10-minute intro. So if you want to throw something together, it's not quite going to be like that. She already has something prepared for us. So that'll be great.
Good. Yeah. Looking forward to that. So
yeah, absolutely. Hey, we want to thank everybody for listening. We've been doing this show since February 2013. So we are well into our 6th season. And this is all about information and education. No rants, no lectures, no selling. We would love to have you visit our website. It's 2 regularguys.com. Check out the show notes. Anything that Jennifer brings up today and says you can find it here, it'll be linked on our website. And all of our shows are archived there. So tons of great information that you can go back and find from gosh, here and there, hundreds of awesome guests. And we also would love to have you come back and offer show ideas. You can do that through our contact us page at 2 regular guys, the number 2 regularguys.com. And of course, we are all over social media, 2 regular guys. And
number 2.
The number 2. And if you are watching us right now live on Facebook, we would love to have your comments and your questions and participate in the show. And Aaron, before we go any further and bring Jennifer in, let's hear a word from our sponsor, SGIA, the Specialty Graphic Imaging Association.
Hi, this is SGIA's Dan Marks, inviting you to attend the SGI Expo in Las Vegas this October. We're going to show you what's on the horizon, with more than 500 exhibitors showing the latest in dye sub, screen, embroidery, DTG, and more. We have 72 educational sessions, including a garment decoration track, and a special luncheon just for garment decorators. Registration is free through September 19th. Learn more at sgia.org/expo2rg.
And we want to make sure that you do that /2rg that way, or /expo2rg, because that way everybody knows that you heard about the expo through the 2 regular guys. So
That's right. Yeah, no, it's gonna be a good one. I'm really looking forward to it. And and it's Vegas, baby. All right. Well, Terry, we've got a great guest. Are you ready to jump in here? You got the coffee ready to go, right?
I do. I have a good hotel room coffee, and I didn't get a chance to run down and get real coffee. So.
Still early there in Long Beach, California. All right. Well, let's do this, Terry. Let's grab Jennifer in here, and there we go. And fix one more view. There we go. Hey, good morning. All right. Well, welcome back to the show, Jennifer Cox. Jennifer began in the industry operating the family embroidery business back in 1990 when she was just 4 or 5 years old. And okay, all right, good. She then went on to found the NNEP, the National Network of Embroidery Professionals, and is the president over there at NNEP. It's a national organization that supports embroidery and apparel decoration professionals with programs and services designed to increase profitability and production. They do some good stuff over there. She was ranked 27th on the Power 75 list by Stitches Magazine, and of the industry's most influential people, and ranked as one of the 25 most creative people in the industry by Stitches Magazine. So welcome in, Jennifer.
Great. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. And we apologize for thinking that you were on the show last year and it was 5 years ago.
I'm happy to pitch in anytime.
Well, Jennifer, let's get started with the embroidery world where you live every day. Can you give us a little update on the state of embroidery? What's the latest news? What's newsworthy?
It's been a really interesting year. A lot of our members are having one of their best years ever, and that's been really surprising. After the economy and all its wiggle woggling that it's been doing, a lot of the wannabe businesses disappeared. They folded up shop, went home, or they, were home based and never made it any further. So the customers, John Q. Public, has had to go to the existing businesses that have retail stores or the home-based businesses that were solid. So a lot of the garage shops, the under shops, the part-timers are gone, and that's funneling a lot more business to the real, businesses and home-based businesses, and they're having a banner year. So everyone's still working on their pricing so that it's reasonable for the customer, but profitable for them as business owners. But they're kind of looking around going, dang, I like these numbers. So that's been very exciting.
So go ahead. Sorry.
We've been seeing a lot more members going out and actively looking for customers instead of waiting for them to fall on their head like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz in the house. They've figured out they're invisible. And so they're now trying to be much more present and available in a way that what I call mental peanut butter branding, that when somebody says, hey, I need something with a logo on it, that they remember that it's stuck in their mind, that they know somebody who can do that, or there's a business here in town that does that, so that they're not turning to the internet and just going to some of the more easily available but also super expensive options that are online, and that if they can shop local, they choose to a lot of the time.
Great. Okay. What else?
I'm also on a personal crusade. This is a big one for me. Nice. About people stopping referring themselves as embroiderers. There's so many things wrong with that. One, it's a really stupid word. I mean, we're embroiderers, right? Who invented that word? I hate it. But when you say you're an embroiderer, people then assume that they have to go get the product to bring it to us to then do the embroidery, right? Oh, yeah. So if we start talking about ourselves as branded apparel businesses or logoed apparel experts or anything along that, where we include the product in our description of our community, it shifts the whole dynamic that I'm the one providing that thing to you with the logo on it. And it really changes the dynamic of how we position ourselves in the industry. So that's kind of been a big issue with me, that everybody I'm talking with, it's about changing how we present ourselves so that we're perceived in a way that's better for our business, but also a more accurate reflection of what we can do to help our customers.
That's really interesting. I had never really thought about it, having been in the industry so long that, I already know embroiderers and what they can do, and it never really crossed my mind about what the public would think about that. So that's a good crusade. And when you're talking about embroiderers, I love the way Matt Rome at Epson says it. He calls it embroidery.
Yes. Embroideryers. Why in the yars in there?
So, Aaron, it's like sublimation.
Absolutely. Gosh, we got
sublimation. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll have to start a campaign on the sublimation side, and we'll go hand in hand there, Jennifer. And
let's rebrand ourselves as an industry, because we're about branding. Hello. Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
All right. Well, yeah, and you wrote a little piece on this over at NNEP. I just messed it up. NNEP.com. So,
or the NEP or NEP.
There we go. NEP. Yeah. All right. So we'll get a link to that up there. Yeah. That stood out to me too. Cool. All right. Well, speaking of stuff that you've written over at NNEP.com, there was a post that I saw called Thinking Outside the Shoe Box. Features a really cool opportunity for decorators. We'll have a link to that as well. But tell us a little bit more about that. That seemed really cool.
It is really cool. I have a sneakerhead kid, and if you've not met any sneakerheads, they're young adults, typically well under 30, and they're all about any kind of shoe, sneakers specifically, tennis shoes, athletic shoes. And they literally spend thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours researching, trading, buying shoes. It's this whole subculture that is way bigger than anybody who's not a sneakerhead would ever imagine. So having a sneakerhead kid and being I'm a Kickstarter addict. I love seeing what's on there. So a couple years ago, there was a Kickstarter campaign about a shoe that you built yourself from scratch. It comes in a kit with the sole and the uppers and the tongue, and you lace it all together and build your own custom shoe. Well, if I've got flat product, hello, embroidery, sublimation, bling. I mean, you can do anything with these things. And not only do they send you the pieces already cut, you can buy the templates and cut your own out of anything.
Wow.
So you could totally create whatever you want and put it on your feet and walk around wearing it. All the way around can be embroidered because it's all completely flat if you create it out of the template. So I bought a couple of these kits for my kids, of course, thinking, my sneakerhead dude would love to, because he drew shoes, he designed shoes, he took apart shoes. So for us, it was a natural, hey, here's a shoe before it's been assembled. Let's look at this. And it was really cool. And then the company, the guy that started this Kickstarter program circled back around to me just in the last month and said, hey, how did that go? Because I'm not shy. I, of course, reached out to him and talked to him and all of that. And he was like, well, give me some feedback on the product and the program and what could we do differently? And so I'm like, oh, well. And then he realized I was into embroidery because when we talked, when he first launched it, he never connected the dots. Then he sends me a picture. Hey, we're now embroidering them too. And he's got his own multi-needle machine and he sent me a picture and they're custom designing all kinds of different digitized designs to add flavor, personality to the blanks of the shoes. So it was really fun. And he's actually doing a PhD in shoe design and manufacturing.
Wow.
And finishing his doctorate in shoes.
Wow.
Doctorate.
So
it's really cool.
Yeah. So I guess your kiddo's gonna want to do that PhD as well. Sounds like.
Hey, anything's possible.
Okay.
So if you want to get a pair of shoes and totally trick them out, however it speaks to you, click through on the blog and go check out One Day Sneakers because they are really cool.
I'm going to check that out. But my first thought as you were talking was if I'm paying this for shoes, you put them together.
Yeah, but they can't be your shoes then.
But my other thought was, since I sell direct-to-garment printers, I get asked every single day, "What about printing on shoes?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you can do it, but it's a really long, drawn-out process, and a lot of taping and covering." And I'm thinking, "Wow, this would be perfect." For that media as well. So wow, that's great information. And I'm definitely
depending on the subject, the material you fabricate with, boy, possibilities just.
I actually came out to California on Saturday with my 18-year-old daughter to watch the Vans U.S. Open of surfing, and of course, Vans has a giant. They have a pop-up store. Now, people think pop-up store, what is it, 10 by 10? No, they easily have 50 employees inside. and I'm just thinking about all, you talk about people so into shoes. At this point, I have no idea how many pairs of Vans that my daughter owns, but
it's a culture.
It is.
They get like a cult following on their different shoes.
Yeah, absolutely. So. But anyway, that's
and these are kind of like Vans in their styling. So because they're the flat soles, they're not like a Nike with the contoured air soles or anything. They're more like a Vans or a skater shoe.
Yeah, exactly. Her latest pair were red corduroy, so I thought, well, that was kind of cool. So now I don't own a lot of shoes, but I've invested in a lot of shoes.
So you're part of that subculture.
Female here, we know shoes.
I'm kind of like a stockholder.
Nice. So a couple quick comments here, guys. Jeff, Schultzman, I'm really having a hard time today. It's not just kids doing the shoe thing. These are Bob Kraft's Patriots shoes, and he's got a link over there on the Facebook, so we'll get that in the show
I want to
notes.
see that, yeah.
Yeah, he said at BeautyCon last month, blinged, printed, and embroidered shoes were the hit of the show. So,
see, now this is a whole new product category we could open up for all of our customers.
there you go. Yeah,
Custom shoes with the corporate branding or personal style.
Perfect.
The only shop in town offering it, I guarantee it.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, because it's just like any other type of decoration. If it looks a little bit difficult, most people aren't going to do it, you know, and so you can own it. And we talk about that all the time in niche marketing. But so Jennifer, we're going to jump around a little bit, as we always do.
Yeah, just who we are.
Who knew that we were going to go down the road of shoes? So. But tell us a little bit about NNEP's Embroidery and Digitizing Conference. How did things go in Cleveland? And I just did an NBM show in Cleveland as well. And what kind of experiences can people expect, and what are they going to learn at your conferences?
We're really excited to bring a paid education model back to NNEP because the education at our embroidery products is always free. If you're an attendee at the show, you can take any of the classes. But the classes are presented by the exhibitors, and in all fairness, they are expanded infomercials where you get education, but it's also about a product. Right. The conference, NNEP Embroidery and Digitizing Conference, partnered with the NBM show. The next one's coming up in September in Indy. That's about true education, diving deep into digitizing, marketing, pricing, applique, all of the things that will help you be a better digitizer or a better business owner and a better embroiderer so that, there's my word, so that you can, again, outperform the businesses in your community that are, possibly your competition. So like with the digitizing classes, we're talking small lettering, and it doesn't matter what software you use. If you don't understand the challenges of creating good small lettering, you can't create them effectively and have it stitch well, have the centers of the closed letters like P's and G's all open, or they just make holes. But if you know how to digitize it right, no matter what software you have, you can create crisp, clear, small lettering, right? So we're talking in these classes all about how to get the end result, not what button to push on platform A, B, or C software-wise. So they're really getting a different level of education. It's not software training, it's true education on the hows and the whys of creating great digitizing. Same thing with applique. The gal that we have, the company, the people that we have teaching the applique class are amazing. They are out there cutting edge, making applique the Abercrombie and Fitch distressed look. They are doing bling. They are combining it with different fabrics. They're really on the leading edge of what can be done with applique. And you're not there to buy their appliques. You're there to learn how to do it from design concept to digitizing to application and implementation for your customers, all the way through every single step, so that you can come home and totally knock it out of the ballpark. Split front ball jerseys. So many businesses, won't even attempt them because they're intimidated. Stacy and Brian take all of the mystery out of it, and they walk you through exactly how to do that so that all of those teams with the split fronts become your customers and not your competitors. So at the first one in Cleveland, we had about 80 people attend, and they loved it. Game changer. I can't wait to go home and apply this information. I'd never understood that before, so that now I can go back and solve that challenge for that particular customer. We had Frank Goronsky do embroidery maintenance, machine maintenance. People had machines that had not been serviced in years, and that just makes my heart hurt, because these poor machines, it's like driving a car and never changing the oil or putting on new tires. You just can't treat a machine that way and expect it to hold up and continue to perform at the level you need it to, right? The engine's gonna seize. Yeah. So he really broke it down so that they could go back and do a lot of their ongoing maintenance themselves, saving themselves a lot of service call expenses and getting higher quality embroidery output. So it's really about pushing up their knowledge and skill level so that they can excel. The next one is in September in Indy, again, partnered with the NBM show. You buy the individual classes, or you can register for the whole thing, and then you can take up to 8 classes in the 4 time slots each day, and you save $50 a person. So the website is embroiderymart.com/conference, and that'll get you all the information. We just actually opened up online registration by phone yesterday, and we'll have online registration open next week. So, and the classes are limited to limited seating because we're really focusing in about keeping it a small, hands-on, teachable crew, and it's really fun.
You know, Jennifer, speaking of Cleveland, it was so interesting talking to other vendors who were there. What was it, 2 months ago or less?
Yeah, a month ago, June, yeah.
Yeah, everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, why have we not been to Cleveland? This is the greatest." I mean, the crowd was huge, and right down by the stadium, and well, let's be honest, buyers. They were buyers there.
Nice. I'm a Northeast Ohio girl, born and raised. I love Cleveland.
All right.
I to an Indians game. I had been to one in 30 years.
Cool.
They still lost. Well, so I had the same experience. Sorry.
Nice. All right, Terry.
See, we can't do this show without me offending some segment of the marketplace. That's my function in the show.
Yeah. That's why we bring him. I'm not sure why, but anyway. All right. Well, that sounds really cool. Going to be, again, September 13th through the 15th, I think, is when the Indie show is going on. Is that you guys running all 3 days? Or
we teach classes on Thursday and on Saturday. We don't on Friday, so they have that entire day to plow through the NBM show. Because they really need both. You need the education and access to all the new products and suppliers and services. So we built it around that and built that time in.
Yeah, that's great. I think that's huge. Like you said, the seminars that go on at the NBM shows and at your shows, certainly great. And I think the exhibitors have done a really good job keeping it away from being a full-on infomercial. But at the same time, they do have to get some value out of it themselves. So to have that opportunity to have both, where you're paying for some education, I think that's really key too. So you got to put a little skin in the game. But,
it's an interesting experiment. We'll see how it plays out.
Cool. Well, thanks for doing that for our industry, and keep us posted how that goes.
And it's been great working with the folks at NBM. They've been really, really open to making it all work. They're really excited about it, I believe.
Yeah. We've talked a lot on this show, Terry, about NBM, and they're trying new things all the time, and we really think that's great, and so excited to see as all that stuff grows. But
they are thinking outside the shoebox, as it were.
Yes, they are.
Nice. Very
yes, they are.
All right. Well, as Terry said, we like to bounce around. So being a marketing guy myself, I have to go back to some marketing stuff that I saw that you put out in Printwear magazine, and the quick tips that they post and a lot of the different things that is going on. The one that I really enjoyed reading of yours, obviously all of them, but what do I do when a customer says they can get the service down the road for cheaper? What was that all about, and what do you tell? I was going to say embroiderers, but I can't say that. What do you tell them?
Terminology.
Local apparel specialists.
Yes, apparel specialists about competing on price.
Wow, this is a topic that I have a conversation with some embroidery business owner at least every other day, if not every single day.
Wow.
What do I do when they say I can get it down the road cheaper? It's never practical to base your prices on another business's base. You have no idea if they're making money, if they're underwater, if they're not paying themselves a wage, if they're using their niece and nephew to run the machines, if they've owned their equipment for 20 years, or if they have a mortgage for a 20 head. You have no idea.
Yeah.
So and from my business, it was so easy to try to say, oh, well, I'll beat that price by 50 cents. Is that good enough? Only then at the end of the day and then at the end of the job, you lost your shirt and didn't even know it until all the numbers came back. So really, I am a big fan of asking the customer very politely, okay, so why are you talking to me? Because there's got to be a reason, if they can get it down the street for less, that they are not down the street. Either they can't meet the time frame, they're not apples to apples comparing the product, the quality of the work that they had there before was subpar. They didn't ship when they were supposed to. They came back covered in cat hair or smelling like cigarette smoke, or had a huge bottle of Coca-Cola dumped down the box. All of these things have really happened. So you don't know what the prompt was to make that customer come to you when they've had experience somewhere else, but there was a reason that moved them away from that business and into yours. So the pricing at that other business is irrelevant, because if they wanted that price, they would have gone there. So it's really about, how can I help you get what you want? And this is what I charge. And it totally negates the whole apples to apples, this guy, that guy price comparison, if you talk about how you can best serve what their needs are and deliver on your promises at a top quality product. So you don't ever need to say anything about that other shop. In fact, you shouldn't, other than say, here's how I can help you. I'll be here when you're ready. But don't say anything about the other folks. Don't, if they tell you what was wrong, commiserate, gosh, I'm sorry you had that experience. Yeah. What we do here is, and you move the conversation right back to how you will solve their challenge. Don't talk about the other guy, and don't worry about their pricing.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, that's great advice. Great advice. In fact, Christine Shree from Enmart said, another really good point, always ask questions. It's not rude or out of line to do that. The information you get helps you make an informed decision. So
exactly. And you'd be better off having a profitable order than an order where you lose money. It's better to have the machine sit idle than to work for pennies. Yeah. Because if you could be out selling instead of working for pennies, you end up ahead in the game.
Totally.
As our friend Marshall Atkinson would say, don't get in that race to the bottom.
No. Yeah. Whoever dives there first doesn't win.
Exactly.
Yeah. For some reason, profit turned into this dirty word somewhere along the line. And this is crazy to me. Profit's good. You should be happy for people to make a profit. That's how we proceed in business.
Yeah. Anybody who complains about having to pay taxes clearly is new to the business owner game.
Yes, indeed.
Exactly. All right. Well, hey, so it's obvious Aaron and I are all about social media. When we talk about it constantly, have shows about it. But there are plenty of decorators who don't know how to engage and get people interacting. And you had written a piece called Social Networking in 2018 with a lot of great tips in it. So can you give our listeners a taste of what it takes to do social networking?
Absolutely. Boy, you guys are talking on all the topics that are near and dear to my heart. Social media is here to stay. It is not going anywhere. And our customers and potential customers are on there. They're, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. People are on those platforms continuously. My age, older, younger, it doesn't matter. None of us are separated or immune from it. So if your customers are there, how can you afford not to be? So I think social media is a real opportunity because accessing it is free as far as compared to paid advertising, but it's only free when you manage it well, because it also can turn into a time-sucking black hole if you're not careful. Ooh, kitten videos, zoom down the rabbit hole you go. And 4 hours later, you look up and realize, oh my gosh, that order never got run, right? You have to actively take control of your social media networking to get the desired results. So to get desired results, you have to tell stories, show photos, quick little video. This is my one takeaway for the podcast. Here it is.
Perfect.
Every single order you run for a business, not for the onesie-twosie individual baby blankets, etc., but for the business, you grab your smartphone You load the machine, you hit start, and you hit video, and you take 30 to 40, 50 seconds of the machine running that customer's design, ideally kind of towards the end where it's recognizable as their logo. And you email that off or message that off to your customer that day. Hey, we're working on your order today. I can't wait till you see it. All you got to do. Tell me how many people he will show that to when he goes home, at work, everywhere he goes. Oh man, you got to see this video. And now not only is he talking about the work you're doing for him, he's talking about it with everybody he knows.
Yeah.
And the thing is, people are afraid that the quality of the video won't be good enough. Thank you, YouTube. The lowest common denominator is your smartphone. It doesn't have to be fancy. In fact, it's more authentic when it's live and just real. So you don't have to be pretty and polished, and you don't even have to appear in the video at all. Their logo does. It's the star.
Yeah.
So take that video, post it on your social media. Hey, I'm running this job today. It's coming out great. Click load video. Send it to the customer. Email. Click. Hey, we're going to have this ready for you Tuesday. When do you want to stop by, or can I deliver it, or whatever you want to work out?
I love that.
It's the most effective marketing that you can't even buy.
Yeah.
So you do have to be, the one other caution that I'm really kind of fixated on, I guess, is be aware that what you post on your personal social media as well as your business social media influences who will and will not do business with you. Politics, religion, money. If you state your opinions, that's fine. Feel free. But no, it will influence with whom you will be doing business. Because those are three subjects that, just like at a cocktail party or a wedding reception or a business networking or a chamber of commerce event, if you wouldn't say it there with a cocktail in your hand in person, you don't say it on social media either. It's just bad form.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
So
I totally see somebody saying though, hey, want to see something really cool? And it's that shirt being embroidered or whatever. That's a really, really great idea.
And it's a 30-second thing. And who among us as business owners does not have a digital device that can create that video? Nobody. We all have a smartphone now. We may be not that smart, but our phone is.
That's right. Let the
And if
smartphone
you've
do
never
this.
created a video, hand it to a 5-year-old. They'll show you how.
Yeah, that's a good idea. My 7-year-old is going to take my videos from now on. That's a perfect idea. He does good. Awesome. Well, anything else with social networking that people should be aware of? I mean, that's a huge tip. We could just close the show down today, but let's keep going.
There is something to be said for being consistent. If you're going to post stuff, keep doing it. If you're going to, like, even if it's only once a week, which is way too infrequently, quite honestly, on social media, but every morning when you first fire up the machines, snap a photo of the pile of boxes you're going to tackle today, or the wall of threads, or the new backing that's come in if you don't have an inventory order to run, or you've set up the machine and you've got, a 6-head loaded with caps. Take a picture and post it. Getting ready to run hats today. And you don't have your screen of your computer with a design that you just digitized or opened. So people don't understand what we do, and making it like the behind the scenes, don't peek behind the curtain view. People are fascinated. So they will keep liking, they will keep following, they will keep commenting, which then means your stuff keeps appearing in their newsfeed. Ask questions. Hey, do you think this would look better in blue or white? And, show something. Ask questions. Do you like it on the left chest or the right chest? How many of you wear a design on the back of your cap as well as the front? It doesn't matter what you ask. It's just trying to get the engagement so that way your material keeps appearing in their world.
As a addition to that, a lot of folks will say, well, nobody's interested in this. Nobody wants to see what I'm doing today. And that is so wrong. I mean, just like you said, looking behind the curtain. When everybody
loves behind the scenes peek. Everybody.
Exactly. When I first started my initial business in screen printing, I tried to set up this office area, where you could come in and just see the printed apparel. No, everybody wanted to see the machines running.
Go in the back.
Exactly. So it was a real education for me many years ago, Aaron.
Before video or no? Okay.
Yeah, it was pre-video.
You can invite them back into your shop through social media for free at your control.
Yeah.
Aaron, I had a sketch artist.
Okay. Nice. That's really cool. I mean, it is interesting. I've been in this industry pretty long myself at 20 years. And I sat after our show last Friday and watched an Instagram video. Garrett Call was stitching out a jacket, and I sat and watched that thing for 5-10 minutes and just watched. Made
it's more fun than kittens.
Yeah, and I've seen, I've stood next to an embroidery machine at a trade show for 3 days straight, and yet I sat there for that 5-10 minutes and watched it, and it was cool. I'm like, oh wow, that's really a cool design, and look at it, and I'm asking questions like, how are you doing that to get that to do that, and again, I'm so now I'm sharing that with people, and that it just snowballs. We had a comment here said, I did that for my kid's teacher to show the class how their patches were made. It was a time lapse. Everyone in school saw the video because she sent it to everybody. People were asking me about patches. Just kind of snowballs from there. So
perfect.
Yep, good stuff. All right. Okay. Well, where are we at here, Terry? We need to talk a little bit more about education, I think, now. And I know, Jennifer, with what you guys do at NNEP, I'm going to get this right today, I promise, that you guys are big on the education piece, obviously. So what topics and issues are you seeing people need the most help with right now? I think we've covered some good ones, but what else? What other things and what advice do you give them?
NNEP is all about helping our business owners, members, find customers, keep customers, and make money. Because if you don't find them, keep them, or benefit financially from it, you're not going to make it. So it's all about identifying customers that you can serve in a way that no one else can as well. I grew up with a friend who had horses. I helped groom the horses. We rode the horses. We cleaned stalls. But am I a horse person? No. Should I be doing horse embroidery? Probably not, as opposed to someone who lives and breathes and rides horses. So each one of us has what I call the BEL, your before embroidery life. And we have interests, passions, hobbies about which we are, just deep dive into. I happen to make jewelry, so I'm all about jewelry making and on my time, off work hours. So, and scrapbooking, what can I say? So, but there are unique things that jewelry people do and need, and there's unique things that scrapbooking people want that I can make because I'm one of them. I understand their needs and wants. So when you look at your BEL, you're outside of your embroidery life, are you into remote control cars? Do you fly RC airplanes? We have a 64.5 Mustang. There's a whole world around cars of every different kind. There's whole sub-magazines just for Mustangs or vintage Mustangs. There's whole trade shows. So any industry where there's enough to have a website, a user group, a magazine, or more trade shows, that identifies a huge potential market. And if you find a market that you are interested in and there is not an embroiderer in sight, woo, jackpot, that is where you can shine. So look around at, when my kids were in school, they're older now, but when my kids were in school and playing lacrosse, I started to join and become part of the lacrosse family. Well, lacrosse families have their own vibe. It's like soccer and swimmers and lacrosse and dance families. All these subcultures in your life have their own thing going on. And when you begin to relate to that community, you can all of a sudden start seeing, ooh, it would be kind of fun to wear this. Well, if it'd be fun for me to wear it, guess what? Every other mom is now a potential customer. So I make one, I wear it, and then all the other moms are going, hey, where'd you get that? Well, funny you should ask. So turning your expanded universe of knowledge and interests and passions and hobbies into potential business is one way that you can be different, unique, untouchable, in markets that no one else can relate to the same way. So whether it's travel or animals or dogs or kids or sports, or I have a friend that's really into handbell. They ring the bells like a church and do all the Christmas carols and stuff. That is a huge world. They like travel all over the world and compete in handbells. Who knew?
No, not me.
They all have custom covers and cases and everything. Guess what? Hello, embroidery. So we have I knew somebody that was into ostrich ranching. Ostrich was going to be the next, white meat. So they had a whole line of clothing under the brand Walking Tall that they did for all the ostrich community. So, anything's possible. Don't think, oh, there's not enough of a market there. Guess what? There probably is.
Absolutely.
So if there's a Facebook group for it, if there's a magazine, if there's a trade show, if there's a very active website, hello, opportunity. You've got to go in and dive in. And it often turns into something you never could have imagined.
Hey, I have to warn all the folks who are thinking about getting into the industry, because you talked about before embroidery life. There is no post embroidery life.
No, I noticed I didn't say there was.
And all garment decorating. Once you're in, you stay forever.
Yeah, even when you retire, you keep a machine.
Right.
True. Every person I know that's bought a business or sold a business was like, oh, but I kept my single head in my heat press.
Right. Right.
Like assumed they would.
Yeah,
so
totally.
yeah, once you have one, you don't go without.
Well, hey, before we get here to the end of the show, let's talk a little bit about the upcoming Embroidery Mart. How's that all shaping up, and what can people expect at the event, and where can people find out more about it?
All right, Embroidery Mart. I love bringing this event to life. It is so fun. The website is embroiderymart.com, and then you can click on the Nashville link, or you can go to embroiderymart.com/Nashville. We'll have over 50 suppliers there with all the embroidery equipment, single head, multi-head, new, used, thread, backing, bobbins, hoops, software, blank apparel, backings. You can buy armloads of backings and armloads of vinyl and take it all home with you. So it's pretty much everything you need to help your business go forward. And quite honestly, we're going into the third and fourth quarter here really quickly. And that's where we get the busiest as an industry. So when you have access to fresh catalogs and new information, new products, different ideas for designs and applications and techniques and appliques, again, you can outperform and outsell and outshine any competitors in your market that didn't go to a show this year. There's just a level of energy at a live event like Embroidery Mart that you can't generate when you're in the silo of your own business, when you're by yourself trying to invent, success. Come here and drink from the fire hose of the whole juju of the industry and all the industry's best industry suppliers and educators, and take some of that home with you. And you just set yourself above and beyond the reach of the people that only stay in their own world, thinking their own thoughts, doing their own thing over and over and over again. The way to accelerate and expand your trajectory and increase it is to bring in new ideas, new products, new information, new designs, so that, again, you continue to evolve as a apparel decoration professional and not staying at home doing the same thing over and over again and then looking around and saying, how come nothing's changing? So one attendee this last show in February, when they left, they said that it was like drinking an entire case of embroidery Red Bull. I love that. They said they could not wait to get home to begin using the information, products, design ideas, everything that they picked up. He's like, oh my God, it's like a whole case of Red Bull. I thought that was kind of cool.
I love that.
So the show's coming up in 2 weeks. In fact, 2 weeks from today, it opens in Nashville, August 17th and 18th at the Music City Center, and it's embroiderymart.com.
Perfect.
I could keep going, but not that I'm enthusiastic at all.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can hardly tell. Oh, that's awesome. We're so looking forward to seeing that and hearing about that, and seeing how that comes off. And everything going on there. All right, Jennifer. Well, we're going to kind of wrap the show, but as we promised to the folks at the beginning, we're going to bring you back here in just 1 second to present 5 things for us today. So thank you so much for your time today, and hang tight with us for just one moment.
All right,
Okay.
Aaron. And,
Thanks, guys.
all right, super. Oh, we cut her off. But hey,
We did. I
talking in just a second.
We'll try again in just a second.
Well, Aaron, let's before we do each 5 thing, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Equipment Zone.
Our show today is sponsored by Equipment Zone. Go to equipmentzone.com for the Epson F2000 direct-to-garment printer. Equipment Zone is the only Epson reseller who sends a technician to every customer location for training. This is an absolutely free visit to your location. Equipment Zone is also the manufacturer of the #1 pre-treat machine in the industry, the Speed Treater TX. With no compressor and no special tanks, the Speed Treater TX is the easiest and most consistent pre-treat machine available worldwide. Go to equipmentzone.com for the Epson F2000, the Speed Treater TX, and for all your DTG inks and supplies. That's equipmentzone.com. That's equipmentzone.com.
All right. Well, thanks again to Equipment Zone for all of your support, and we'll be giving you some more information about the DTG Academies coming up in Tempe, Arizona in September, and then again back in New Jersey, outside of New York City later in the fall. So watch for that at equipmentzone.com.
Awesome.
And I'm sorry, go ahead, Aaron.
Well, I was just going to say, yeah, looking forward to seeing that. And thanks again to Equipment Zone for their support of the show. So since I cut off Jennifer last time, how about we bring her back and have a I was too quick on the button there. Here she comes back in, I think. Yep, there we go.
Oh, you didn't abandon me.
No, it was fast fingers on the buttons over here, so
Right.
I apologize. But all right, Jennifer. Well, this segment we do each and every show for the most part called 5 Things, and you were gracious enough to bring us 5 things this week. So I'm going to turn the floor over to you.
All right. So 5 things you can do to help your business. I would stalk my customers, and I would stalk my competition. And by that, I mean checking out their social media. Read their Facebook pages, both your customers and your competition. See what is out there, what they are saying, what their customers are saying. If they are missing deadlines and delivering late, people will comment on that. That's one of your now selling points. For customers, if they happen to mention that they have a significant milestone or a big deal in their business, they've added a new CEO, like the stall story, that there's opportunities there for you to reach out to that customer and say, hey, love to help you commemorate that. Also, I'd recommend that you follow up with non-customers, people that decided not to order from you. Reach out to them and say, hey, I'd love a minute of your time to find out why. Is there something I could do better, differently to help you stay with me? Equally, follow up with new customers. How did you decide to do business with my company? I would love to know what it was. And, to grab a cup of coffee with them at some point. Any positive feedback helps you pinpoint the things that you can focus on and accelerate on. So that way, again, you continue to stand out and be the one that the customers choose. Another good idea is to set up a loyalty rewards program, and it's surprisingly easy to do. There are so many apps now. There are websites. It's as simple as a coupon, a baker's dozen. Get a free hat for every dozen hats you order or something. Doesn't have to be complex or hairy. It can be pretty simple, but people love to know they're getting a deal. Be visible. This is when you're, again, like we've been talking about all day here. People are on Facebook, so you have to have a presence there too if you want them to see what you're doing. So be participatory and enthusiastic and supportive at, just shy of stalking, but that's a fine line. But you can, if somebody comments that they're heading out of town on a trip, wish them happy vacation. Don't just only talk to them when you want to sell something. Engage with them like a neighbor, a community member. and develop that relationship with them. It comes back in full circle because they consider you part of their community as well. Okay, done.
Perfect. All right. Good stuff there. Well, thank you very much for bringing us that today. And again, thank you for all the great information. In fact, we had a comment here. What? That was too fast. So that tells us, Terry,
that article.
Yeah, that's right. No, we can't do it every 5 years, Terry. We're going to have to make this a little bit more regular.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Good deal. Well, thank you so much for your time today, and make sure everybody gets over and checks out NNEP.com.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
All right.
Jennifer. All right. Well, great show today, Aaron. And gosh, I love Jennifer's enthusiasm. I can't believe it's been 5 years. And man, she was preaching to the choir here because all the points she was talking about social media, things like that, and things that you and I talk about on a regular basis. But Aaron, we're coming up with about 5 minutes to go here. So what kind of events do you have coming up?
Definitely. Before to go there, Terry, I just wanted to add to your comment there about, like you said, preaching to the choir. I mean, I love this stuff. I was really excited to hear the parts about, the BEL, before embroidery life. I mean, I get that question a lot too. How do I find my niche? And that's a perfect way to describe it. I'm going to borrow it from her. I'm going to give her credit one time, and then after that, it's mine, right? Is that how that works?
That's the way it works.
Okay. All right. Well, and also I just wanted to thank everybody for all the great comments and stuff in the chat room. I know we'll talk about that in here in just a second, but I didn't get a chance to post as much of it as we normally do because I didn't want to take away from all the great information we're getting from Jennifer, but lots of good follow-up stuff. So if you're catching the podcast version of this, you definitely need to get over to our Facebook page and see all the comments in there too. But events, finally, Terry. I'm actually taking a week off from Small Business Saturdays. Just I'm heading to Indianapolis tonight, and my mom's in town. Those of you that follow me on Instagram saw my mom's famous biscuits and gravy that I've been longing for a long time. So it was delicious and everything I remembered it. So anyhow, I'm just going to take a little family time, a little chance to refresh. But if anybody has any comments, topics, suggestions, hit me up at facebook.com/aaronmontgomery.info. What we've got coming up, Terry, in August 16th at 2 p.m. Eastern, we're doing a Two Regular Guys SGIA webinar, finding new niche markets because you're a digital decorator. So we've been adding on to that as we go, stealing from guests along the way here. So perfect.
Absolutely.
And then at SGA, I will be teaching at the Essential Small Business Strategies session that goes on from 1 to 4:30 p.m. the day before SGIA, October 17th. And my segment will be called Marketing Your Business Online. So looking forward to presenting that and being a part of that great panel of folks that day before. It's only $40 to attend this thing. And so well worth your time, and just come in a day early. We can have a drink at the bar on the evening of the 17th before the show gets started. So, and then Friday, October 19th at 10:30 a.m., I will be presenting a seminar there at SGA called Digital Marketing, Growing Your Business with Social Media and Email Marketing. So looking forward to being a part of SGA this year. How about you, Terry?
Well, actually right now, in fact, as soon as we're done here, I've got my Equipment Zone shirt on and going to run over and help with booth setup. The show opens here at 10 o'clock. And so 2 more days of NBM Long Beach. So if you're around, come by and say hello to me at the Equipment Zone booth. You can't miss us. We've got a big giant tower lighted, and and also make sure you go visit our show producer Eric Campbell. He's going to be at the Deco Network booth and for the rest of the show as well. And I haven't had a chance to talk to Eric yet, Aaron. I was talking to a customer and I got the wave, going down the aisle. I'll catch up with you later, wave. My next complete screen printing business course is going to be in Chicago at Atlas Screen Supply. It's August 18th and 19th, around the corner. I found out today there are a couple of seats left, but that's it. So if you're planning on coming to that, make sure you get signed up right away. August 22nd, I'll be doing the full day Epson seminar at Secaucus Meadowlands at the NBM show there. They also call it NBM New York City, but it will be over on the Jersey side. August 23rd, 24th, I'll be exhibiting there with Equipment Zone. September 8th, I'll be doing my Intro to DTG seminar at the ISS show in Orlando, and that's going to be Saturday at 10:30 a.m. And all my upcoming events through 2018 you can find at terrycombs.com and under the tab Tour Dates.
Very nice. Okay. Well, Eric's got a couple of things coming up as well, besides being out there at NBM Long Beach that we wanted to share with everybody to check out. He's going to be presenting a webinar with Madeira USA on digitizing and embroidery for 3D foam. The 3D foam that was a Reggie Award winner. I don't know if you saw that, Terry. They actually tweeted about their Reggie Award and this product. So
I did see that. That was cool.
seeing them. And then Eric will be at Jennifer's NNEP Embroidery and Digitizing Conference in Indianapolis, September 13th and the 15th. So we'll get some more details from him about that. But all the more reason to sign up. Besides the awesome Jennifer Cox, we also will have our own Eric Campbell there. So that'll be a good event. But Terry, we have come to the close of another show today. So again, thank you very much to Jennifer Cox from NNEP. Make sure you check out everything they've got going on over at nnep.com/events. And make sure when you're in Nashville area, you go up and tell her you heard about her from the Two Regular Guys. That way she'll come on more than every 5 years. Well, we just have to ask her, I think. But,
exactly right. She sounds like she's wound up and ready to go. But
yeah.
We also want to thank our show producer, Eric Campbell with Deco Network. And you can find him also at Eric with an H, ericcampbell.com. And we also want to thank our sponsors, the Specialty Graphic Imaging Association and Equipment Zone. We very much appreciate your support.
Awesome. Yes. And should we be throwing shade at E. Rich here as we're thanking him?
Well, you know, there is a rap competition going on, and I, Aaron, have been working on my freestyle. Turns out they're rapping cars over there again. So I totally misinterpreted that. But E. Rich is Eric's rapper name. So
yes, exactly. Had one quick question, Terry, before we close out here. Will you both be at the ISS Long Beach in January?
I will certainly be there, Aaron. I don't know if you will be or not.
I don't know. I don't get out as much as I used to. I lock myself in my room at home now. So Long Beach is a tough one to miss, though. I'm gonna give it my best shot. So we'll see. Anybody needs somebody to do any speaking out there at their booth or otherwise, you know, I'm available. So.
There you go.
All right. Well, next week we're still working on some things. We've got really nothing scheduled yet, but we'll see if anybody has any suggestions for a good speaker, a guest to have with us. We're all ears. So otherwise, it'll just be Terry and I looking at each other in the camera. So I don't know how it'll go, but I'm sure it'll be just fine.
I'm sure we'll put something together that'll be really good. And I'm going to be home Saturday night and have all week to work on things, Aaron. So
this guy, he's going to work hard. All right, get me in. All right, appreciate it.
Well, until next week, he's Aaron Montgomery. I'm Terry Combs, and we are the Two Regular Guys.
Thank you for listening to Two Regular Guys. Check out our website at tworegularguys.com. That's the number 2, regularguys.com. You can also interact with us over at our Facebook page, facebook.com/tworegularguys, or send us a tweet, twitter.com/tworegularguys. And we have a YouTube page. You can find all that from our website, tworegularguys.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to spending some time with you again next week.